Hey guys, welcome to Crazy Gamers Games and Model Making. I am the Crazy Gamer, and welcome to the JagdTiger build. This is a quick intro video. The video will be the actual build video for this series will be starting soon. I just want to let you know, I want to thank all my subscribers, all those who are supporting me in all the different ways. I want to let you know that if you want to follow this build, subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, like the video. If you don't like the video, click that thumbs down button and let me know in the comments why and what can I change to make it better for you. Leave comments below, engage in this build because there will be giveaways for those who are engaged in this build. You can either build along with me or you can build the Takom JagdPanther and follow along. It's going to be similar. And if you do that, leave that in the comments. If you're following along, leave in the comments. Just, engage in the video, like, subscribe, share the video with friends if you like it. And there is a link in the description for my Patreon page. If you would like to support me, you can do that. You don't have to. It's not a big deal. But any support would be appreciated. And there will be bonus things for people who support down the line. Thank you. Here's the video. Alright guys, we're going to start this video off with some stuff I've had to do to these transmission pieces. This is one heck of a spot to start with the modifications that need to be done and the gaps that have occurred in the transmission here. There was gaps all along here I had to fill. And if you see my video yesterday on new camera mount, I tried this Mr. Hobby dissolved putty. Worked pretty good. Sorry about the camera shake. It's got it mounted to the table. If I shake the table, it shakes. I like the Mr. Servicer 500. This you seem to need to apply more, and it really shrinks when you put it on. For the most part here, it's taking out the seams here. We won't know for sure until it's got paint on it. So these are just sanding sticks from Hobby Lobby. I happened to go there this weekend. They're not very rough. They're quite gentle. This is all sanded out. For the most part, that Mr. Surfacer, that Mr. Dissolve Putty worked. Scrape some of it off there. That is nice, it does scrape off. I did put some here. It did seem to take a lot longer to dry than the Mr. Surfacer 500. So, and it did dry kind of clear. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to do. That's a property of it. Because there's nothing written on it in English except for the name. And I'm not about to get Google Translate out. So, there's a little bit of gaps there. I can touch them up with some Mr. Surfacer 500. Or when I actually prime it, I might use Mr. Surfacer. Now on this, I had gaps all along here, all along here, and here. I wanted to get these pieces glued on before I started making the bolt detail, putting on the oil level gauge, and putting on the strapping. So we're just going to sand this back. Use a little coarser stick here. I applied this much thicker because it kept shrinking back. And it doesn't seem to dry as fast as the Mr. Surfacer. This side here. So you guys gotta tell me how you like the camera mount. I did a test video and nobody really mentioned it mounted this way. You know, Love Minis, he did say it looked good, you can see better. Just hoping, you know, other people see what other people think. I myself personally, I think the lighting is a little bit better because it was hard to light it from that other angle. But I have overhead lighting, and so I figured having the camera overhead would work that lighting problem. So I originally didn't have the camera this way because it's reversed the way I have it mounted, but I'm able to flip the video in processing, which I don't have a lot of experience processing videos. As you can see, if you watch my channel, my videos are very raw, unedited. I leave in all my mistakes. I don't do a lot of the editing and stuff. But I'm not afraid to show my mistakes and whatnot. So, we got that sanded back mostly. I'll hit it with some sandpaper later. Okay. Got that sanded back. I know that was fun to watch me sand that, but I just wanted you to be aware of all the gaps that occurred in there. So we're going to go back to this piece right here. We're going to take a look at our instructions. Now, pointing stick. Now, I've glued up this section here. You have to glue this on that section. But I have glued up the C43s and C9s and C13s. That's this one right here. It's this assembly. That assembly. Now, when you glue this on, pay attention to the way that this C43 is located, because it could locate with this side over here. So just look at the drawing to see where it locates, because on this one it semi makes it clear, but on this one right here it's a little harder to understand, and this is an exact copy but going in the reverse direction with C14. So we're going to take our piece, it's going to be sitting like that, and we're going to glue C30 right, well, if I don't drop it, right on there like that. So this is, and we're going to line it up. See, now there's a lot of play there. See how much play there is there? I'm going to look, it looks to be lined up directly like that. Directly like that. And to double check that, we'll look in the reference book here that we have in the transmission section. Yeah, see, they're exactly level with the top section, and the gaps are filled. That's what that is. And the gaps are filled. See, now, in his, if you look in his, he has his drop down the other way. but I followed the kit instructions. So I don't want to copy his book exactly. I believe that's plagiarism. So I'm just using it for inspiration. So we're going to glue this on, and we're going to keep it nice and flush with that right there. We're going to use some quick set. Looks like I'm going to have to put a little Mr. Surfacer in this gap here. Clean it up with a Q-tip. I want everything to be square. So you can see we glued that on there. And now we have to glue on this 30, which is this little wheel right here. And it doesn't have a key or anything. It does have a injector pin on the back of it. And let me just stop and say, that's something you have to keep an eye on. There are injector pins on the back of a lot of these parts that will prevent them from going together. And they need to be sanded or scraped back. So that just fits in there like that. And I just realized that there is a slight seam on the edge of my part here. This is a 15 blade. I normally use it for photo etch, but I have discovered that it is fantastic for removing mold lines. Especially in little areas you seem to have a lot of control over the smaller blade. See what it looks like there. It's a number 15. I use it for photo etch, but I used it for some scraping because I had to get in a certain spot, and it seemed to work. A little bit of glue there. And we'll put that on there. Make sure it's central. Give it a little push down. Spot of glue more. And we want the seam there because that's a pulley. It seems to be a pulley of some sort. So that's that side. So we're going to come over here. We're going to mark off that we put on 30. And then we're going to come over to this side. Now we're going to flip it over like this. And we're going to take this piece, which we previously assembled. Well, I previously assembled because I've made two 40-minute videos and we've gotten nowhere. So I've had to do a little bit. But I showed you how to cut and clean parts and things like that. So that you should know. And it looks like it's going to go flush also. This down here. Use cap. No, I'm not going to say that word today. I could feel it. And that's nice and lined up there. The joint's not real prevalent. Little joint right there, but we can touch that up with some Mr. Surfacer. Now we have to glue in a 30 over here, and as you can see, I scraped off the sprue ejector pin because, as I said, there's a lot of these that have screw ejector pins. And I'm sorry that this build is moving at the speed that it's moving at, but I hasn't anticipated the filling work that's needed to be done on some of this transmission. I'm hoping when we get to the engine in the next page that it becomes easier. Now I already glued 34 and 32 together yesterday, but I haven't glued the neck section. And see, there's a little bit of seam in there. I don't know if you can see that. See the seam there? That's gonna bug me. But let's see how it looks on the part here. It's gonna go like that. What an odd fit. Well, we'll hold off on this. I'm going to put a little bit of Mr. Surfacer 500 on some of this stuff real quick. I'm just showing you guys that, this is what I'm going to do to this model. Little gap here and there on a different model wouldn't bother me, but I am building this for a store, and I want to make sure I do the best that I can do, because they were kind enough to let me do this and let me film it, because originally they were saying, could you just build it, not put it on the YouTube channel, but I convinced them to allow me to put it on the channel, because they're putting the videos in their store, so you can check out different build sections in their store. It's Hobby Town. So I'm gonna check. Let's check these last two fits here. We're just gonna put a little Mr. Surfacer 500 in that one gap right there, just to seal that up a little bit. I mean, the diluted putty's nice, but it doesn't flow as well as the 500 does. See, I don't mind a little indentation there, but I just don't want a huge gap that you're going to see when I do a wash on this, which I have been practicing on my washing techniques. I know they're abysmal at the moment if you watch my JagdPanther, but I've never washed with non-acrylic products before, so it's a learning curve for me. So there, that's that. Everything else looks good on that. And that was just Mr. Surfacer 500. I didn't use the diluted putty because it takes forever to dry. I'm hoping during this video I can get back to that. So clean my brush off, and I'm just cleaning it off in some Mr. Color Leveling Thinner that I don't change. I just add some more to it because I'm cheap. I'm super cheap, guys, and I don't like to waste things. Plus, I don't like to throw it down into the plumbing systems. I'll just keep it in jars until it evaporates. I don't like pouring it outside or anything like that. Okay, so we still have C44 to put on right here, but I have to put on this bolt detail. And remember, I said I was going to do that with this Plastruck hexagon rod here, 30 thou hexagon rod. I think I'm just going to cut pieces off, glue them on, and then cut them back to the right height and sand them. I'm thinking I've never applied bolt detail before, so I'm having issues trying to figure out how to do that. I mean, do I drill a little pilot hole and stick it in there, and then that'll hold it better? Debating on that also. But then with it being hexagon, would it give me issues that need to be filled? or would it look more like a bolt head would expand over the hole? So if you have any thoughts or ideas on that, leave a comment below. Remember, engaging in the video will qualify you for some prize giveaways. So here we have, this is part 29 or 20 and 19. Combine those a little bit. So you got these two parts and they're going to fit together like this. So we're going to check the fit. And the fit looks good. Just going to check the glue surfaces. There's a little bit of a gap right there. You can see that. It's a little bit in there. So let's just check the mating surfaces. See, the mating surfaces are a little bit flashy. So I'm just going to take my fine sanding stick here. This is like 1500. I'm just going to come across this mating surface right here, just to knock down any pin marks. I think a lot of my issues with some of the gaps on the earlier stuff is I was knocking down the ejector pin marks with too high of a grit, and it was making my pieces smaller. So now I'm going in there with this 1500 on this little stick. I enjoy those. They're micro mesh. I believe they're for woodworking, but I use them for plastic. So there we go. As you can see, if you take a look in there, hopefully this is clear for you. It's meeting this surface before it's meeting this inner surface there. So what I want to do is I'm going to glue that first, and I'm going to use a quick set again. I'm going to have an alarm go off in a few minutes, people. If it does, I'm sorry. So it's August 2nd, 2019, and school is getting back in session coming up, so I do all my videoing in the morning, and we'll see how that schedule keeps up. So that's nice and glued. I'm going to glue this other side to match it, but I'm hoping the video and schedule either picks up or I'm able to do videos later in the day, because currently everybody in the house is asleep, and that works out better because I don't disturb anybody with my videos and they don't disturb the videos. And I'm constantly playing with my equipment for lighting and staying in the shot and different techniques. So I have a buddy of mine that does photography, and sometimes he gets new stuff and gives me his old stuff. Well, he doesn't give it to me, he lets me borrow it. He's very anal about getting it back. So, and at the last minute, he'll just show up and be like, hey, I need that back. And I'm like, okay. Was using it for filming. And then I come up with another way, like this. I was using a tripod, and I didn't like the angle. And I've always had this mount on the back of my table. I had a light on it. And then I found out I could flip the video 180 degrees in the software, and I was like, wow, I could use that mount now. So I'm going to let this go off. It's all lined up, and I'm going to show you how I sand this round spot here and make it smooth, hopefully with no gap on it. So we're going to put that, one of the part numbers on this was 20, so we're going to put it in the 20 bin. And I'll show you this one more time because I can't recommend this more. These are Mr. Hobby paint trays. They are a 10 aluminum, well, not aluminum because they're magnetic, a 10 steel alloy. I'm not sure what they are. You can put thinners in them, paint. I use one for primer, surface primer, and then I have another ones for thinner and things like that. But I write the part number and I put the part number in there, and then as I use the parts up, I just take the unused cups up. But be careful because some of the cups have little teeny tiny parts in them. And when I take all the cups up there, stack them up, and then I'll come in with the Dry Erase Expo and all the ones without cups. I'll erase the number. Oh, not that one. Oh, we'll move C12 up here. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes we'll move C44. Because that one's going to be a little bit to get to. Leave C20 there and C30. And 36 we'll leave. And as you can see, it's just, sorry about shaking the camera. As you can see, it keeps the part numbers, and then when I get a new part number, I write it in the corner. I throw a tray down, and then I put the part in there. Sometimes, if you look at the book, it has all these numbers laid out. What I'll do is I'll start on the whiteboard and I'll write C50, C49, C26, 45. I'll write those all out in a long line going across the top and then going down. And then I'll look at the board and I'll cut the pieces out and put them in the individual cups. That way I can cut them all out at once and I'm not jumping between the book and the sprue and the containers and things like that. Like I said, that's an iFixit magnetic project mat. I got it for an electronic project to sort screws, and I discovered that the cups stick to it, and it's fantastic. The reason it has the alphabet labeled on the top half, because on the Takom models I'm building, they have a lot of sections that are A, B, C, D, E, and you don't use them again until 3 or 4 more pages in the book, and that's how I keep them organized. Other than that, I'm not organized at all. I try my best, but it doesn't seem to work. So we are on this step right here. We've glued these together. So I'm going to go ahead and mark these off that we glued them together, and then I'm going to put this C36 on. And we're looking at this side right here. You look at it, we're looking at this side, and it looks like this is some sort of, let's see if I can get you a look at it here, if you can even see it. It looks as if it is some sort of mounting cap of some kind. So this is going to be fun. First, let me clean off the area here with the brush. And this is just a stenciling brush from Walmart. It's great for getting the dust off. Alright, this is going to need tweezers. We're going to show the best side we can show. Because this part was hard to clean up because of its size. I cleaned up one side while it was still on the sprue. I'm sorry I didn't show you that, but it was super difficult. I had to use my magnifiers plus the table magnifier. And I'm still getting used to the table magnifier while keeping you guys in camera. So, I have 2 different magnifiers, but one is awful. I need some kind of special rinse to tighten it, and it doesn't come with it. I messed it up. It was fine, and then I touched it, like I always do. Just a little, wipe off all the glue, and then just touch it a little bit. Okay, so there's 36. We'll mark 36 off. So all we have left to do is C12, C44, and then the C19 one. So what I'm going to do is, I want to see what's on the next page. I'm going to, in green, highlight these parts so I know that they're not on yet, because some of them have been put together. So, but I have cut them off the sprue. So I'll just go back, and then when they get highlighted yellow or marked with a highlighter in yellow, I'll know that I put those on. Let's take a look at the next page here. We have some more transmission pieces, and I'll show you my board in action. So, remove my sprue goo and my thinners. Now, let me get a board here. I'm going to put the board in shot. Take this cup off, and then I'm going to move these three pieces, this two, that's done down here. I'm going to clean off, because I'm about to work on these and I know what they are, so I'll be able to see it. I highlighted them in the book. So we're going to start in the book here, and we're going to look across the top right here, and we have C39. These are all from, well, we got an H sprue coming up here at the end. So we're going to do C39, C24, C40, and then we have C23, 23, and C21. And I like to check that. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts that I wrote down. Now we come over here. I have a C33, C33, and a C25. I'm sorry if this is boring, guys. You can fast forward if you want. And then I have a C38, C38, and then I have a C18, C18, and a C17. And then that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 in the next area, and we only have 6 spots. So I'll do everything but the H's. So we have C28, C37, C29, C35, and C22. Okay. So, and we'll just put H13/H5 because they're pretty different. One's the universal joint and one's the backing ring for the universal joint that's going to plug into the transmission. So we'll be able to tell those apart. I mean, a lot of these parts you'd very easily be able to tell apart, but this is the method that I use. So now I can put my book back on its stand, because I have a little stand that holds up my manual over here. Nice and neat like that. And I'll come back and grab my C sprue. As you see, I labeled the bag there. And I will show you how this works and how it saves time. And that's in a plastic bag for the purposes in case a piece falls off. I know these pieces are large. So we start at the top, empty out the cup, and we put down, and this one's C39. So we find C39, and it's a little bitty piece, and we put C39 in there. Come to C24, which is a little larger. C40, for the steering. C23, which is the other arm that houses the drive rod. And we got C21 is the steering column, or the steering third wheel. I would say that's, well, third wheel's not, but it's like a third of a wheel. And then we have 33. 33 is a smaller piece here. And again, I'm not using my 1-2-3s for these. I'm using an older set of Tamiya sharp point cutters. Now we need 25, which is this piece. That sometimes happens. But the magnet cups are nice. If you knock it, you're not going to lose everything. And this isn't the end-all, be-all way of doing it. Now, this little piece right here, this right here is C38, and that's what I need. So I am going to use my 1-2-3 cutters, and I am going to attempt to remove this as close as possible for the least amount of cleanup. It does have a lot of flash on it, so I will have to try to clean that up, but I might be able to do it when the part's on there. So now we have C18 and C17. We have 18 first, and then we have C17 right there. You can see how I'm using my 1-2-3s, which I don't like to do. And there's that alarm I was telling you about. Because this video is going on and on and on, and I am sorry. Once I finish cutting these parts out, we're going to wrap it up. See, and then we got C28, 37, 29, C28. C28 is right here. C28 to C37, which is a little handle, which may get remade, and there it is, I dropped it. I need tweezers to pick it up. That's C37, and then we have 29, which is another round cap thing. 29. And C38 is missing. C38 was that little gear. Alright, I'm going to have to hunt that down. So I'm going to stop there and hunt down that part, because that's crazy. That normally doesn't happen to me. So I'm going to hunt down that part, and then I will call this video quits. Like, subscribe, comment, participate for the giveaway. For Crazy Gamer Games, I am the Crazy Gamer. You guys have a great day.